The knock came at 300 hours, precisely when Mir's wrench slipped and skinned his knuckles for the third time that shift. He cursed in 3 languages, Standard, Mandarin, and the guttural Craxi he'd picked up from dock workers, before wiping his bleeding hand on his already filthy coveralls. Nobody knocked on Outpost 7's maintenance bay at 3 in the morning. Nobody knocked at all, actually. They just radioed ahead or barged in with their broken equipment and demanding attitudes. Mir hauled himself out from beneath the mining drone's chassis and approached the external hatch. Through the reinforced porthole, he saw nothing but the rust-colored darkness of Mars's night sky. He was about to return to his work when the knock came again, softer this time, almost hesitant. He opened the hatch. 2 pairs of golden eyes stared up at him from beneath oversized hoods. The taller figure barely reached his waist. The smaller one clutched what appeared to be a stuffed earth bear, its synthetic fur matted and worn. "Mr. Human?" The taller one spoke in heavily accented Standard. "We seek adoption?" Mir blinked, then blinked again. The thin Martian air sometimes caused hallucinations, but he was inside, and his O2 levels read normal. "I'm sorry, what?" The smaller figure pulled back her hood, revealing scaled features the color of polished copper with small horns that curved back from her temples. "I am Akeem," she said quietly. "This is my sister. We are Draconians. We need a parent." Draconians. Mir had heard of them. One of the Alliance's newer member species from a colony world near the Veil Nebula. They'd been integrated into galactic society only a generation ago, but he'd never seen one in person, and certainly never expected to find 2 standing at his door in the middle of the Martian night. "Where are your actual parents?" Mir asked, already suspecting he wouldn't like the answer. "Dead," Akeem's sister said flatly. She was perhaps a year older, with darker scales that held an iridescent sheen even in the bay's harsh fluorescent lighting. "Mining accident. Tunnel collapse in Sector 12, 3 days ago." Mir's chest tightened. He'd heard about that accident. 12 dead, all contract workers from off-world. The company had paid out the minimum compensation and moved on. "And social services? Want to separate us?" Akeem whispered, clutching her bear tighter. "Send me to Titan. Send my sister to Europa. Different foster families." "We researched," the older sister continued. Her name badge, Mir now noticed, read Zara. "Humans are one of the few species that regularly adopt children not genetically their own. It is considered normal for you. Noble, even. You fix broken things," Akeem added, gesturing at the dismembered machinery scattered throughout the bay. "Maybe you can fix us, too?" Mir ran his hand through his hair, leaving a streak of hydraulic fluid across his forehead. This was insane. He was a mechanic, not a father. He lived in a converted cargo container. His kitchen consisted of a protein synthesizer and a hot plate. His idea of a balanced meal was remembering to add nutrient paste to his instant ramen. But those golden eyes held something he recognized. The same desperate determination he'd seen in his own mirror years ago, when he'd fled Earth with nothing but a toolkit and a one-way ticket to anywhere else. "Come in," he heard himself say. "It's cold out there." The girls entered hesitantly, staying close together. Zara's tail, which Mir hadn't noticed before, wrapped protectively around Akeem's waist. They looked around the bay with wide eyes, taking in the organized chaos of spare parts, diagnostic equipment, and the half-assembled drone. "You live here?" Akeem asked. "Living quarters are through that door," Mir said, pointing to the back. "It's not much, but it's warm and the air's good." He cleared a workbench and gestured for them to sit. Zara hopped up easily, but Akeem needed Mir's help. Her scales felt warm beneath his hands like sun-heated stone. "Listen," he began, "I can't just adopt you. There are laws, procedures. I'm barely making enough to support myself. I don't know the first thing about raising kids, let alone draconian kids. What do you even eat?" "Mostly proteins," Zara said. "We're omnivorous. We can process human food. Do you breathe fire?" "Not until puberty." "That's good to know." Mir pinched the bridge of his nose. "Look, I'll call social services in the morning." "No!" Both girls shouted simultaneously. Akeem's eyes began to glisten. "Please, we will work. We will earn our keep. I'm small. I can reach tight spaces for repairs. Zara is very strong. We will not be burdens." "Your children," Mir said softly. "You're not supposed to earn your keep." The concept seemed to confuse them. They exchanged glances, having a silent conversation in the way siblings do. Mir sighed, feeling the weight of a decision forming before he'd consciously made it. His mother would have called it his bleeding heart overriding his common sense again. His ex-girlfriend had cited that same trait in their breakup message. But maybe some things were worth the inconvenience. Okay, he said finally. Here's what we're going to do. You'll stay here tonight, I'll take the couch, you two can have the bed. In the morning, I'll contact a lawyer I know. We'll do this properly legally. I'm not promising anything, but we'll try. Understand? Akim nodded so vigorously her horns caught the light. Zara's expression remained carefully neutral, but Mir caught the way her shoulders relaxed. Thank you, mister. Mir, just Mir. He stood, stretching his aching back. Come on, let's get you settled. And tomorrow we'll figure out how a human mechanic becomes a father to 2 dragon girls. As he led them to his quarters, Akim slipped her small, scaled hand into his oil-stained one. It felt right somehow, like a bolt finally threaded properly after hours of frustration. Maybe he was good at fixing broken things after all, even the pieces that looked nothing like him.